cannot believe it is already Friday, guys. It is already Friday. I don't think I've actually finished editing or uploaded a single training session from this week yet. So it'll be a batch upload over the weekend again by the looks of things. But I've just been prioritising work, unfortunately. So, I mean, it is how it is. I don't get paid to do this YouTube thing. I do it because I enjoy it, and I know other people get some sort of value from it, whether it just be helping them stay consistent with their own training or the occasional laugh when I go on some sort of autistic rant or whatever. And I can say that because I actually have autism, so it's not offensive. Fuck you. But yeah, I mean, I don't get paid for it, so it's going to come second to my livelihood and my passion, which is coaching. So yeah, this obviously is also a passion, but it's second to my career. I mean, my career pays the bills, so that's what I will prioritise if I'm in a position where I have to pick and choose between whether I edit a YouTube video and upload it, or whether I stick with my work and continue responding, programming, that sort of thing. I'm obviously going to go for the latter. So yeah, got backs on the menu this morning. I've got pretty much the same attachment that I normally use on this, but it's just a little bit different. So the angle of the handle or the attachment is a little bit more cambered at the end, so it's a little bit more bent at the end. It's not quite as straight, so I feel a little bit different. Oh, feels like an oven in here today though, guys. A little bit drier, but still very hot. I think I checked, it was like 92 degrees, about 75% humidity, so the humidity's come down a lot since it rained. But it will go back up soon because we're almost entering into the wet season here in Thailand. So that's always a good time or a bad time, depending on how you see it. For me, it's a bad time. I don't do well in the heat or the humidity, let alone both combined. But we'll do a warm-up set and then into the first working set. So the warm-up sets, I don't like to use straps or any sort of assistance. When I used to do powerlifting though, what I would do or how I'd approach it is a little bit different. Like I used to say if I was going to use straps for my volume work on deadlifts, for example, if I was going to use a belt for my working weight, then the last warm-up, maybe the last two warm-ups if I was going real heavy for the day. Like, I mean, I used to deadlift, I don't know the conversion, it was close to 800 pounds at 220 pound body weight. So I was pretty strong on the deadlifts, like reasonably strong. Although what am I looking for? My straps, that's right. What I'd do is, when I was warming up for deadlifts back in the day when I did powerlifting, I'd maybe, the last one or two warm-up sets, I'd use straps if I was doing volume. If not, I'd just do hook grip. But because I used to compete with hook grip, I would never do mixed grip, and I had no shame using straps in my volume work because I knew I could hold onto the bar with hook grip if I was doing anything less than 4 reps. But if I was doing over 4 reps, I'd use straps on my deadlift training. Anyway, get to the point, Nick. Alright, so the point is, I wanted to warm up in the last 1 or 2 sets leading up to the working weight with all of the, I suppose, variables the same, if that makes sense. So I would use straps, I would use a belt, that sort of thing, because you don't want to put them on when you get to your working weight and then just be completely thrown off. But when it comes to bodybuilding, it's a completely different kettle of fish. It doesn't really matter. And I'd argue because you're not doing anywhere near as many warm-up sets, you're not going as heavy on super technical lifts, you can get away with not using straps and shit on your warm-up sets. And I think it's probably more of a benefit because you're going to get a little bit more, I guess, it's mechanical tension on the forearms and stuff like that. But what I'm going to do is, was it 180 pound this week, because escalated the load last week, I believe. Let's just double check. It was, yeah, 180 pound last week, 10 reps. So actually I did 160 for set 1 for 12, and I did 180 for set 2 and 3, and got 10. Obviously the set 3 was a little bit closer to failure than set 2 because I got the same number of reps. If I was aiming to maintain the same rep and reserve target for all of my working sets, the reps would naturally decline, if that makes sense. That's a big mistake a lot of people make. Oh God. When it comes to rep and reserve training, if you're adhering to a specific rep and reserve target for an exercise, each set that you do, the reps should naturally drop off by at least a rep or so, or 2 each time you do a new set. Otherwise, if not, you're actually reducing your proximity to failure, or like shortening the distance between like your set finishing and failure, the failure point. So you're getting closer to failure on each preceding working set if you hit the same number of reps. It's either that or you're going way too easy on the first set, which is more often the case with most people because, let's be honest, most people don't train hard enough. So usually it's a case of if you're getting the same number of reps on all of your sets at a specific weight, it's most likely you're probably not pushing as hard as you could on that first set, or all of them for that matter. Maybe they're all sub-maximum. But yeah, if you're genuinely going hard out, so like, or if you're genuinely going to say 1 to 2 reps in reserve on your first set, and you do like 180 for 10, the next set, if you do the same rep and reserve target, if you hit the same rep and reserve threshold, you will not get the same number of reps. You'll get 1 less rep or maybe 2 less reps, and that's just the way it is. So yeah, you'll notice that rarely happens with me. That's because each set that I do, I get closer to failure. The way I approach my training is I use a rep and reserve target for the first working set. Then I'll basically just try and match the reps each time I do another set. And once I get to a comfortable, say 3 sets of 12 and a 8 to 12 rep range, I'll escalate the load. So I kind of like combining a higher effort approach to training with that kind of rep and reserve method, if that makes sense. I had to lower the thigh pads a notch because it's a little bit too high. I felt like the weight was lifting me out of my seat. That's better. almost set to go. Apologies if you can hear a lot of background noise. That's due to my shitty microphones. I've got the Rode Wireless Go 2, but I think I'm going to actually upgrade soon to the Rode Wireless Pro. The reason for that is it has better voice isolation and noise cancellation, so it kind of like blocks out more of the background noise, which is kind of what I need for what I do, right? Especially when the gym's blasting loud music like it is today. I mean, some nights it's quiet, or sometimes, heck, the music's even turned off completely, if I come late enough, that is. Although when I come during the day like this, in the morning, that sort of thing, it's just too loud, and it's understandable. Like, I mean, they're setting an atmosphere for everybody, so I personally, I just don't like music, but I'm a bit of an old-fashioned person in that way. I think gyms should be quiet for the most part. You should just hear people grunting, silently chatting, like, oh, what weight are you doing next set, that sort of thing. Do you need a spot? Yes, no. And then just the clanging of the iron weights. But again, that's very kind of old school of me. So yeah, I will upgrade the microphone soon, hopefully. So stay tuned. And that brings me to another point. I did say, I believe, in one of my previous videos that I would never monetize the channel, although I'm considering I might actually register it for monetization next week. And the only reason is any money I get from this channel, from you guys supporting me, watching my videos, I'll put completely back into the channel, so better equipment. Initially that'll be better audio, and eventually be a better camera down the line. So I'm thinking I'll do that, but as long as I can morally sleep at night with the thought of monetizing the channel, if I promise myself that I'll put all the money that I get from this back into the channel. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. I mean, at the end of the day, it is my decision ultimately, but I would like to hear your guys' input and your guys' feedback. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. Drop a comment down in the comment section. That way I also know that you're actually watching my videos too, and not just watching like the first half a minute and saying, oh yeah, I watched your video, it was great, bro. Because I know there's a lot of people that do that, and I understand it's with good intentions, like, oh, I want you to know that I support what you're doing, but yeah, if you do watch my actual videos from start to finish or close to it, then yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about me monetizing the channel, because it will allow me to scale the quality of the videos in the future. Heck, I might even start getting into some more fancy editing again. It's just so time consuming and I don't enjoy it, but if I have the funds down the track to, say, pay a freelance editor, then I might do that. Alright. I got more. Yeah. So I did just do one working set, although the battery overheated, so that video file will be corrupt. So the first working set you're seeing is actually working set number 2 right now. What I was saying is, though, on that first set when I did record it before the battery died, was since having the umbilical hernia, I got it back in like 2014, 2015. I only got it surgically repaired in 2020, but ever since having it repaired, I've been a little bit paranoid about my abdominal wall, and if I feel something a bit funny, I usually back off a bit, because I do have what's called diastasis recti, which is kind of like the diverging of the abdominal muscles, the abdominal wall, so the rectus abdominis, the six pack, they're kind of like slowly separating a little bit, and it is a genetic predisposition. You either have I guess you could say, a fascia that's predisposed to allowing this to happen or not. And unfortunately, I have it. It's hereditary, and so I just have to be mindful of that. So I'll probably have to get it surgically repaired in the future, but I just don't want to get any other hernia, so I'm just very mindful. If I feel a weird sensation, I'll back off immediately. It's a rep PB, not a weight PB, or just a PB in general, I should say. Matched reps to last week, but with an extra increment, extra plate. So happy with that. Again, like I said last week, I'm not too concerned if I don't get the full contraction, especially when it comes to back training. I'm more concerned with the stretch. Mind you, I will try to do it at the start of the set, but if it starts to drop off a little bit toward the end of the set, I don't care. If the velocity of the concentric is still reasonable, I'll keep on going. So to stop the fluttering on the recording, I've turned the exposure right up. Hopefully it's good enough. But basically, what I'm going to be doing here is combining the last two exercises into one. It's kind of like a superset, just because it works out well. It's on the same equipment, so why not? And when you fail with T-bar rows, you've got more in the tank to do kelso shrugs. So basically I'm doing a set of T-bar rows straight into kelso shrugs. This is a good way to just improve the overall efficiency of your session in my eyes, as well as also locally fatigue some of the other back muscles before you start, I guess, isolating the traps, so to speak. My camera must hate me today. It overheated again, so I just lost the recording of set 1 or 2 of this. But basically, to recap what I was saying in that first set that I did record before the battery got overheated, was that I'm combining the last 2 exercises, so supersetting the chest supported T-bar rows with the chest supported torso shrug, because they're on the same piece of equipment. Might as well, it'll just improve the overall efficiency of the session. And by doing so too, you're able to pre-exhaust some of the bigger muscle groups that would otherwise help assist the traps in the torso shrug to a degree, especially if your technique is a little bit sloppy. So basically, that's what I'm. All good, yeah, all good. But yeah, basically that's what I'm doing here. I'm doing a superset to improve the overall efficiency of the session. Hopefully the battery doesn't overheat on me again. Otherwise you'll be seeing no recordings of this exercise.